Suleiman. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, he goes, I guessed. He goes, I thought you fucking knew. I'm like, no, Mariano, I just need to know, man. Uh, mm. Holy crap. You ready to you ready to start, Daddy? Holy crap. I
Give me
gotta
1 second and
No,
yes.
you're good. I got a 9 minute timer on this thing. They can hear everything we're saying, they just can't see us yet.
Nice. Thing I don't have clothes on yet.
Dude, welcome to the Not Safe for Work Slams Fist Fact podcast. Brought to you by
I'm-
Pornhub and Feet Finder.
oh no, I gotta. Oh, I forgot. Oh no, hang on. You said we got 10 minutes.
Yes, I'm gonna mute ourselves on the Let me. Everything should be up and running, but oh, that was a tangent. Let me make sure I can hear ourselves. That was a tangent. Let me make sure I can hear ourselves. Okay, I can hear ourselves. Myself. Whatever. I can't get over the cheese. I'm so sorry. It's horrible.
I love it.
Oh, let me calm down for a second. It's gonna be stuck in my head all night. I have to. I might go to a store tonight. I don't have anything else to do, so why not? It's got my mind running. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 14 of Slam's Fist Fact Podcast. Rick, how are you today, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Living life, contemplating how much cheese weighs.
I
But
feel that.
yeah, we just went on a little tangent there before the podcast. That's why we actually started late, because we couldn't get over the fact of how much cheese may or may not weigh.
Yeah. Don't even have an actual answer yet,
No,
but
not at all. We'll find out tomorrow. But
some hypothesization, some
we have
theorizing.
we have ranged from 5 pounds to 20 from a couple different sources. We will get more into that in a little bit, though, for sure. First thing we want to do is how we've been starting the podcast off for a few episodes now. Rick, are you drinking anything tonight?
I am some Baja Blast. We talked about our soda draft. This was my steal of the draft right here.
It's not a steal when it's mediocre soda.
You're wrong.
I don't like Baja Blast. Regular Mountain Dew is better.
You're just wrong.
That's fine. I will take my wrong opinion on the high road and drink regular Mountain Dew.
Stick it up your hat, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. My Rick thought this was a Padres hat, by the way, for everybody that's out there watching. This is definitely not. It's a Myrtle Beach Pelicans hat.
Rick did not think that. Rick wanted to mess with Brandon.
Either way, I don't know what a Padre is, but it's definitely not the giant pelican on my
It's a
hat.
father.
Oh yeah, it's Spanish for
And this part of the podcast shall be archived for future generations.
forever. This will be in there forever. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm drinking alcohol because I only drink on days that end in wine. It's not tomorrow, so it's today. And I'm drinking a nice Michelob Ultra because I decided to buy a case of beer instead of a 6-pack, so I didn't go for the regular Peroni. I did have Peroni on draft the other day, which was very interesting. We went to an Italian restaurant and I literally went there because it was happy hour. Peronis were only $3, and I was like, I'm ready. And he was like, yeah, do you want it in the bottle or draft? And I was like, excuse me, I am draft, please. Like, thank you for making my day. What's your telephone number? I'm gonna send you some money. Like, it was good. It was good, so good. I also had I didn't. Amy had this. I tried it and finished it. Was a mojito with, oh fuck, what was in there? It was just a regular mojito with, what's the pink wine? Not
Rosé?
not rosé. The other one. What's other basic white girl wine drinks? You have you have like rosé Moscato. It might have been. It was pink Moscato.
Pink Moscato.
That's what it was. It was a mojito mixed with pink Moscato, and it almost tasted like a cranberry mint mojito thing. It was really good. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I had one of them. I had a few more Peronis than I did pink Moscato mojitos, but to each his
Very
own
neat.
on that one.
Very cool. Very cool.
Well, it wasn't neat. It was mixed. I'm feeling good today. I'm
Yeah,
feeling
you're on your game,
I'm
aren't you?
feeling good today, son. I'm feeling good. Rick, start us off like always. Hit us with those birthdays, baby.
Yeah, man. Let's start off strong if you catch my drift. Lou Ferrigno turned 71 this week, baby.
Uh, the Hulk, the
The
original Hulk,
Hulk.
the only Hulk without CGI.
He's a rather muscular man, and camera angles could be even better. But
Yes.
yeah, the man, the myth, the legend, Lou Ferrigno turned 71 this week. Peppa, not Pepper, Peppa from Salt and Peppa turns 58 this week.
Okay. I was thinking of the pig for a second, but now I'm catching your. I was like Peppa Pig, like, dang Rick, what an interesting birthday, but that makes it better.
No, man, it ain't Salt and Pepper. It's Salt and Peppa. Gordon Ramsay turns 56. Nothing.
I love Gordon Ramsay. I have nothing bad to say about the man.
Oh, you better not. I was expecting
Or
something good to say.
no
I
jokes. Kitchen
love
Nightmares
Ramsay.
might be one of my most favorite shows of all time.
Dude, I enjoy a lot of his shows. I really like how now I don't actually have a TikTok myself. I've seen like reels and stuff of him and him on TikTok where he will react to people using his recipes or trying to make additions to his recipes, and he called somebody out for their take on his beef Wellington, and
Hmm. Dude. Yeah, I like the one to where he does the same thing, but it's not with people that make his food. It's just people that post their like own horrendous recipes that they enjoy making on TikTok, and he's like, I would never touch this in my entire life. Like Ramsey's the
I love me
shit.
I love me some Chef Ramsay. Next on our list is I say he turns 56 this week. I
Yes,
don't know if I said that, but Leonardo DiCaprio turns 48 this week. Oh, Leo.
he's getting
I
old.
gotta be I say I kind of actually want to say not a diss at all, but I kind of thought he was getting older than that. I would have pegged him in his 50s. I'll be honest.
No, I would have said he was like younger. I would have gone like low 40s.
Really,
Yeah.
I think I would have started like with 52. So I was a
Well,
little
well,
shocked.
I think it's like from from What's Eating Gilbert Grape to like Titanic was a big jump of only like a year, right? But then like from Titanic to probably like almost like Shutter's Island, in between that, he like hardly aged, right? He like took a long
Oh
time
yeah,
to like, but then like Shutter's Island, Wolf of Wall Street stuff more currently, you can tell he's clearly older, but
Django,
yeah, Django, the other outdoors one that he did, I can't remember the one that,
Revenant.
yeah, like I mean, clearly he's older now. Didn't think he'd be 48 though. I
Yeah.
thought he was younger.
Someone who I definitely thought was younger. Ryan Gosling. You want to just take a stab at it?
Well, he was in the Mickey Mouse Club with like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, so I'm saying
That
40.
were
I'm saying 43.
42.
Damn.
That's a good guess.
Damn.
I really thought he was younger than that. I would have put Gosling in his late 30s, so I'm a little off on some of my celebrities' ages, apparently. Then we have Anne Hathaway, turns the big 4-0. Josh Peck from Drake and Josh. You want to take a stab at that one?
36.
It is 36. Very
Boom.
nicely done. Emma Stone.
37.
34. I go in
Okay.
order, so you should have known it was lower
Yeah.
than 36.
My bad. My bad for
And
not paying
then,
attention.
and
20,
then to
20,
round it out,
22.
we have Lord's birthday,
She's
and
definitely
she
not
turns
22. 30.
26.
26.
Younger than me. About
I
half your age.
I have, continuing with the order of age, I have a birthday that's younger than that.
Oh, yeah? Who?
Today is our good friend Mac's 25th birthday.
I did see that.
Mac,
Shout out to Mac,
yes,
Miss
100%.
Kelly.
She has been a good friend for a long time and has listened and been a very supportive viewer of this adventure that we are doing. that we pretend that we're podcasting. But Mac turns 25 today, so happy birthday to you, Kelly.
Birthday to Mac. And now you know you were born the same week a year later than Lord.
And Ryan Gosling, and Leonardo DiCaprio,
Well,
and Lou Ferrigno.
those
But
are a little bit larger age gaps. But
yeah, you're in there.
You're also about a third of the age of Lou Ferrigno.
Yes, is the Hulk. Remember that, Mac. You were born the same week as the Hulk. If anybody,
What do you got today, man?
okay, so that was my one birthday.
Nice.
The only birthday that I decided to choose is our friends. So going on for this week in history, I have two facts that I brought. One is from a week ago because we were supposed to do this on Saturday. Then we ran into some technical difficulties of a windy storm day. 1968, on the 1st of November, the movie rating system came out. The GMRX, PG-13, and NC-17 went into effect in 1968. I definitely, with how long movies have been a thing, I did not think it would have taken to 1968 to have a content rating system for movies that long. You know?
What do you mean?
I mean, thought they would have made G-rated movies in 1940.
No.
Or like when Lawrence of Arabia was filmed in either the 60s or the 30s, because all those movies blend together into one time frame.
If they didn't have color, they're the same time frame.
Lawrence of Arabia is in color.
Sure.
Have you never seen that movie?
Never seen it.
That is one of the greatest movies ever made in the history of cinema.
I won't believe it.
Watch it. It is a great movie.
Maybe. We'll see. But that is interesting.
Yes. My
You
second.
said what year? 1960 what?
68. So the year before we went to the moon. Anyway,
I'm glad we got our priorities in order there.
Let's rank the movies and then we'll send some. I mean, it's fair. It's the 60s. I would rather rank movies than be like, hey, get in this middle 10. We're going to shoot you on up there to the moon. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to rank movies. My second thing goes further back, going into a little bit of sports because we had the World Series in here. In 1938, Vince, Dominic, and Joe DiMaggio. I know you know who Joe DiMaggio is. Super famous baseball player for the Yankees. Played baseball together in a West Coast charity baseball. Huh? Yes.
Dominic Toretto.
No, they're all DiMaggio brothers. Thank you. They played baseball together in a professional baseball game for charity, and they are the only trio of brothers ever in the history of baseball to all have been selected to an All-Star game. And there have been over 350 sets of brothers, including twins, that have played Major League Baseball together. And this is the only trio group that it was all three were All-Stars.
At the same time or ever?
Them? I mean, they probably were roughly the same age. But
I'm wondering if it was like one all like what do you say 1936?
At 38.
13-8. I wonder if they were all stars in 1938.
Oh, I have no idea.
Or were they all just all stars at some point in their
Well,
careers?
Joe DiMaggio was probably an all-star almost every season he played, except maybe his later years. I didn't even know he had brothers, so they can't be that good at baseball. But good enough to be an all-star.
Toretto was big on family, dude.
Yeah, and Vince. But whatever. What do you have? I just thought it was interesting, damn it.
That is interesting. So
the bad thing is, I will say, when I was like, oh, over 350 sets of brothers have played Major League Baseball together, I was like, that's cool. I was kind of like Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad. And then I'm like, that's not a brother, Brandon. You dumbass.
Nope, those are
father son.
They're different things.
Father son. I got it. Figured it out.
In 1889, Montana became the 41st state of the U.S. That's awesome. I really want to go to Montana. Every picture I've ever seen is incredibly beautiful.
It's I would live there if I could, but not just like in a little city of a population of like 8. I would like a ranch house with millions of acres of
Oh, that all? You
land.
just
That's
want
it.
a casual million acres?
Nothing crazy. I want enough to where I can build a golf course on it, full 18 holes, and not see it from the other side.
Ridiculous.
Golf
So I just
course
thought it was cool.
golf course only takes up like 700 acres.
Yeah, so if you have a million, no problem.
Exactly.
And then I know you mentioned in our last podcast that in 1881, the Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, OK Corral
Yeah.
scene happened. I thought that was super interesting. So, kind of two things to play off that. One is that this week they were tried for it.
Okay.
They were brought in on the charges of what happened at the OK Corral for the gunfight. And then 6 years later, from the week that they were brought in on charges, Doc Holliday dies of tuberculosis in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. So almost exactly 6 years after the gunfight at the OK Corral, Doc died of tuberculosis, which was super fatal at the time and super prevalent, unfortunately. That's what I got.
Nice.
Very uplifting, I know.
Yeah, Doc Holliday died of a disease that we couldn't cure back then. That sucks. I would.
So did Edgar Allan Poe's mistress slash cousin.
I was about to say cousin. You mean right? Um, I would hate to live back then for medical reasons alone, but other than that, I'd love it. But
Yeah.
medical reasons, if I could have my own little medical practice and I guess if I just was immune to every disease and then could go back in time, got it. Perfect.
If I just had like a little super medicine pill, I could just
Yeah.
one a day.
Yeah.
One a day for men's, pop it in the mouth and be good to go.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I have a top 5. It's not from me. It is from my brother. Send a message to the Gmail, Ryan. Sent a message to the Gmail and asked us to do this top 5. And I will let you go first.
Yeah, you will.
It is top 5 biggest sports rivalries.
Easy.
Well, yeah, but not if I take one of yours.
Well, that's the problem, is because you probably will. Because my first pick is not going to be the one I'm most emotionally tied to. Give me
Well, I mean, if you
Yankees.
I was about to
Give
say
me
if
Yankees
you
Red Sox.
yeah, I was about to say if you ask Michigan fans, they're gonna pick Ohio as their biggest rivalry. They won't even say Ohio State.
That team up north.
Yeah, whatever they are. Okay. So you said Yankees Red Sox. That's one of the 13 that I wrote down. Anyway.
One of the 13 I need to pick 5 from.
Hey, I wanted my own. I'm going with the oldest rivalry in the NFL, which is Packers Bears. Huge rivalry. They are as much as they've played, the Packers are winning the series 99, 95 and 6. I can't believe they've tied 6 times. In recent years, clearly it's not been a rivalry because Aaron Rodgers has destroyed them. But they're 1-1 against each other in the playoffs, which I think is fucking hilarious. But Packers Bears. I thought of a lot of NFL rivalries. Like who would be Dallas's biggest rival? You know, is it the Eagles or is it the Giants, right?
Eagles.
Yeah, clearly. But I don't think it's as prominent as Packers Bears.
No, I agree with that simply because the Packers Bears, because both those teams were so good now for so long because they have such a long history.
Right.
They win each other out versus with Dallas. There's some room of argument there. Giants versus Dallas, Eagles versus Dallas, Eagles versus Giants. It's kind of wishy-washy. Typically the fan base is who picks who gets most heat.
A big one would be like in y'all's
So we're still
division.
drafting.
I am still talking about. You're not going to pick this in your top 5. Is like the Commanders / Redskins versus the Giants or the Eagles too. Like the Redskins being so good back in the day in like the 60s and 70s. But see
But they've
there
been
but
so
it's a huge
irrelevant for so many years now.
but it's the huge rivalry of that's what the Maryland slash DC folks think it is, but they just suck. So it doesn't matter.
The biggest rivalry there is the lawsuits of people that get hurt on that field.
Or just
Anyways,
find scissors on the field while they're playing an NFL game.
or have stands collapse. Anyways,
Yeah.
tangents. But for my next third overall, give me college football, Ohio State, Michigan.
Nice. It's a great one. I love it. My I have nothing bad to say about either of those teams except
I have
Michigan.
a lot to say bad
Um,
about one team.
I don't like Michigan. I'm not a huge fan of Ohio State, but I can tolerate them. I can't stand Michigan. Tom Brady, one, that's enough for me right there. I ain't got to do anything else. Didn't know he played for Michigan until probably his like seventh year in the NFL. Didn't care. But then like Harbaugh is weird. Like
Harbaugh is
he
weird.
is. He's a weirdo. He's a weirdo. Um, my next one, I'm
Can I
going.
make a quick
Sure.
sub
Yes.
footnote there?
Yes. 100%.
Um, I want to own this up for anyone that might possibly try to sever ties with me and be a Michigan fan. I'll give it up though. Technically, all time, Michigan is ahead in wins right now. A lot of people wouldn't know that by us busting their ass almost nonstop for 2 decades. But technically, they are up all time in wins on the head to head. It's a very unsettling fact for me,
It's
but
very
we're working
close.
on
It's 59, 51, and 6, which is funny.
it.
Both football things we've chose have tied 6 times. I'm going to a different sport. I'm
Please
picking the
do.
the great college basketball of Carolina versus Duke.
I knew it.
Huge
I was
rivalry.
torn.
And it might not even be as prominent as in like if you ask somebody from California what do they think the biggest baseball rivalry is, clearly they're going to say Yankees Red Sox, right? That's just a known thing. Carolina and Duke might not be a known thing, but where we grew up, that was it. It didn't matter if you cheered for anybody. It's like you still have to choose which one of those teams you want to see win and which one you want to see lose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really tough in my house because my wife is a Duke fan. Her entire family's a Duke fan. They're trying to get me to cheer for Duke. And I just want to cheer for South Carolina, who beat Duke in the Elite Eight and made them not win a championship that year. I mean,
Casual.
yeah, what's up, Gabe? Fuck you. I went into work that day when Carolina beat Duke. I didn't have to work, nothing. And I'm talking about South Carolina. I'm talking about the real Carolina here, everyone. Um, I didn't have to work, nothing. I walk in head to toe in Garnet and South Carolina gear just to sit in the office, pretend I'm doing shit for 10 minutes, walk out, didn't say a fucking word to Gabe. It was beautiful. Your turn.
I'm gonna go. Well, this is tough. Top 5 rivalries, sports rivalries.
In sports.
All of sports,
All sports, people.
dude.
For instance,
Barcelona, Real Madrid.
ooh, that's a great one. That was going to be my next pick, actually. The biggest watched sports TV event every single year, and they play twice a year at least, not counting club play. Bigger than the Super Bowl, bigger than everything. It is an insane, insane match.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. They are, and this year is going to be really fun to watch them play again a second time, is because Barcelona is and Real Madrid are separated by like 1 point on top of La Liga right now with Barcelona in front. I am switching up and I am going for a people. Two people, two persons. I'm going Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier.
Okay.
It's a huge, huge sports rivalry. I have nothing to say about it because I don't know much about it. I just know people talk about it all the time. That's my third pick.
So that was our third round, right?
That was 3. We have 2 more.
I love that you just put that in my brain.
Right? That's why I said, I was like, it could be people.
Nadal Federer.
Oh, I didn't even think of that one. That is a great one. That is so good.
You talk about some of the most
Oh,
fantastic tennis rivalries, but like not necessarily the same type
but
of
like
rivalry where
respect
like
at the same time.
there's so much respect. It's a real gentleman's game. I'm not just saying that. Like you can tell by most, if not like 99% of the players, it really is a gentleman's game. They have a lot of respect for one another. They always try and keep it classy, and with a couple exceptions out there. And that was just a fantastic rivalry that was the epitome of tennis for a long time.
Yeah. The big one before that in tennis would be like John McEnroe and I think his name was Jimmy Connors or something. That rivalry of what I'm
Sounds
talking
right.
about is the opposite
Yeah.
of what tennis should be in a gentleman's game. McEnroe was a menace on that fucking court, bro. Slamming shit, throwing it down. One of the greatest tennis players to ever play, and he didn't give a fuck what people thought about the sport either. He was there to murder.
He is a very driven competitor
Hmm.
and without a filter. He's honestly McEnroe. I feel like it's a lot of shade, and I do think that some of that's credited because like at a certain level you should be able to filter yourself a little bit because you're in such the public eye. You're
Exactly.
such a influence on young people, young athletes, and so I do want to say though that some of it's a little unfair because a lot of people think or come close to doing the same thing. The dude just didn't have a filter. He's like, "This is who
Yeah.
I am."
And now when he's like commentating or on ESPN, completely more mellowed out guy. But I mean, you got to think making millions of dollars or maybe even just hundreds of thousands of dollars back then. Super professional tennis player, pro sports, pretty much a celebrity back in there in the tennis days. Like,
Okay.
and he was 25 years old out there winning Wimbledons and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it is. So I'm going an old school one that is hopefully gets revamped soon because it's fun. Is Lakers Celtics. Probably the biggest rivalry in basketball in the 70s and 80s.
I mean, it's
It
still the
was still a
biggest
huge
rivalry
one.
because if you look at the as far as winnings, those two teams have so many more championships than all the other teams.
That's stupid.
I think it's something like if you combine theirs, it literally makes up for more than half of total
Hmm.
championships in existence in the NBA, and so it's
And Bill Russell's only half of that.
yeah, he's he's more than half of the Celtics.
Just very sure. Your turn.
Oh man,
Last one, right? Yeah, last one.
yeah. Oh, that was a good one. Hmm. There's a few out there that I feel like are good honorable mentions, so I'm trying to do
Oh,
it
I
justice here.
I am listing the rest of these after I say my last one. I think my last one, I unless you get it, which if you think hard enough, I feel like you can. I think I got a great fifth pick that could be considered number one, number two pick.
I mean, I think it just depends on what metrics we're looking at here, like longevity of the rivalry, top impact of the rivalry.
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Because like longevity, I could say if I wanted to be just a fan, I could say Astros Yankees, even though we've only beat the shit out of them the past 7 years. You know?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Because you look at hmm, let me just try and get this.
Yeah, yeah. Get that fifth pick in before you start just naming millions of different rivalries.
Yeah, I'm going to say Patriots Dolphins.
Oh,
And now some people might not
why wouldn't you say
agree.
Patriots Jets?
Dude, the Dolphins
The
and the
butt
Patriots
fumble
been going at it
all the time. Love
longer
it.
and better than most division rivalries.
Did
Because
you?
what I will say,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was like, you had the miracle in Miami like 3 seasons ago, to where Gronk had to
Hmm.
tackle that guy. Miami beat the crap out of the Patriots a couple of times when they decided to run the Wildcat with like what was his name, Ronnie Williams or something.
Something like that. And so my big
Ronnie
thing is
Brown.
Ronnie Brown.
Ronnie Brown. It was Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams. I combined the two, but
That's so the thing with that though is that there's so many years that the Dolphins were just bad, like in
mhm.
regular season, right? And it wouldn't matter because when they played the Patriots that week, they were a top 10 team on offense and
The past
defense.
20 years, besides maybe Peyton Manning, the Dolphins were probably Tom Brady's biggest rival.
I mean, dude, and it's not even that they won that many games off them, but there was shoot, it didn't matter if you're talking about the Patriots undefeated season, it didn't matter if you're talking about any of their Super Bowl years. They never walked into Miami and thought it was going to be an easy game.
Exactly.
And they
And
had one of the most powerful dynasties to ever play football. So I'd say that quantifies as a pretty good
yeah,
rivalry there over
I
the
like
course of
it.
like 15, 20 years.
So I have three that I want to put in this fifth spot.
Yeah, see? So did I.
Two, two are really good. One's really close to my heart, and only soccer fans will understand. I'm not choosing that one because
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely maybe the longest rival in here, but I think I'm choosing the longest rivalry ever
Mm-hmm.
in college football: Army versus Navy.
I like the pick for the rivalry.
They
Annapolis versus West Point. I
they
really
do
like
it
that.
all the time. Every year, they rush for 800 yards a game. They never pass, and they just beat the crap out of each other. And it's awesome. It's a great rivalry. Like,
Because they're both in terrible
yeah,
geographic locations for passing the football.
it sucks, but it's a fun game to watch because you're like, oh, Army versus Navy, and everybody that has ever been in the Army and anyone that's in the Navy that I'm friends with on Facebook fucking posts about it on Facebook when that game happens. That is a huge rivalry all the time. I love it.
That's a
My
good one.
my other one that was really going to come close to choosing.
What if we just hang on, time out, time out, time out. What if we just make a six round?
Okay,
You cool with
choose.
that?
Yeah, go.
Cool. Bulls, Pistons.
Great one. Fantastic pick.
The only reason it wasn't cracking my top five is longevity of that rivalry.
You could also go Bulls Jazz, same time frame area.
Yes, you could. My big thing is the impact of the Pistons beating Jordan
Hmm.
and Jordan fighting and the Bulls keeping that rivalry going for about, I guess I'll throw a decade on it. The wounds were still fresh even after like they started consistently beating the Pistons.
Exactly.
Um, so I
The
just
the
it
bad
didn't
boys of
quite
Detroit.
crack the longevity I wanted to put it in my top five, but in the NBA, very impactful rivalry because of one of the goats being involved in it. So your turn, your six rounder.
Well, I have two now since I had three last round. I'm gonna pick Alabama versus Auburn.
That also was close. That was also close. That's a good one.
Enough
That's a good
said.
one.
The kick six.
The kick
The
six,
kick
baby.
six. Dude,
The Cam Newton year.
Cam Newton beating the crap out of
Cheat
him
code. The
is
cheat code Cam Newton.
it's amazing. I think it's weird that Auburn throws toilet paper on these old ash trees, but other than that, like the rivalry is great. But did they do it then? So it's wonderful. My seventh round would have or honorable mentions at this point. One would be
Yeah.
Liverpool versus Man United. They've hated each other since 1865. Um, I had another person. I had two more people, which is a Manning Brady rivalry, which was great.
People.
People. And then Jack Nicklaus versus Arnold Palmer in golf. Huge rivalry there. Two of the greatest, probably two of the top three greatest players of all time on there. And then my last one that I had on there that we didn't say was Ravens Steelers because that was my 13th choice, but it's still a great rivalry to watch, especially those like 6-3, 9-6 games back in the day. It was really fun to watch.
That's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good one. I appreciate you sending that in, Ryan.
Yes. Shout out to Ryan for that one. Ryan helped me figure that one. I could not think of a draft, and Ryan just all of a sudden, what about top five sports rivalries? I was like, huh, there you go. It's on the podcast this week, baby. Your turn.
You picked the right host because we both love sports.
Yes. We could have talked to it. We could have done
Okay.
rivalries all day with sports.
We really could. We could have dug deep on that
Yeah.
one. Let me tell you.
It could have been
Um,
like Dale Earnhardt versus Richard Petty, 1987. Like I could have just thrown it all out there.
Oklahoma, OSU, like oh man.
Oklahoma, Texas, bro. That's bigger than
Well,
Oklahoma, OSU. It is. They literally play
there's
it
like
not in their home stadiums and make an entire week event out of it.
okay, but there was like a 10-year span there where Texas was trash, and so Oklahoma and Oklahoma State were both ranked every year in the top
Yeah.
15, and so it was a big deal.
You could do
Anyways,
USC, UCLA, Texas, USC for a long time in the mid
Texas
2000s.
USC. Yes.
Clemson, South Carolina is one that's always huge, even though South Carolina sucks at football.
Ooh, you know who is the big in-state rivalries? Washington and Washington State.
And then Oregon,
That's
Oregon State.
yeah. I think the Washington well, because like Oregon has that other like Pac-12 people they got to worry about,
Mm-hmm.
but I really feel like Washington State, you
It's good.
can't
It's
really say anyone's a bigger rivalry
yeah.
than the in-state.
In-state conference rivalries are great. What is yours before we talk about this for another 3 hours?
I know, I know. Oh, all right. Clear your brain real quick. This is gonna change directions fast. All right.
Easy, easy clear.
You're colorblind. Give me your top three colors in your draft. You only get three of them. You're first.
I'm colorblind,
Completely colorblind, grayscale only.
and I want
You
to
get
and
to
I want
draft
to see
three
three
colors.
colors.
You get to draft three colors.
Green,
Red,
blue,
yellow,
orange.
purple.
Easy, easy. I can see the grass and vegetables. So I can see blue, so like I can see the sky when it's gonna rain, cloudy, all that crap, and then orange. That way I can see the leaves change in the fall, baby. I'm happy. I don't need any other colors. And plus, like green, blue, orange are like most of the colored shirts I wear too.
That'll work. That'll do. That'll do.
Quick
I
draw
just want to
on
think
that
about
one.
huh?
I said we quick drawed on that one. I was ready. I cleared that brain, and it was like it was just already feeding me like, yo, Brandon, he's gonna say something about color blindness. Like, just throw it on there. It was like, get prepared for your top three favorite colors. I knew immediately.
You
You'll
just
never know
have
if the Eagles wear those little nice green jerseys now because I have green.
oh well.
Yeah, that's true.
I get to see Ohio State.
Ooh.
Do you have anything before we move on to sports?
Yeah, I've one. Before we talk about what we were just talking about, I do.
Yeah.
I have one thing about books. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Barnes and Noble the other night, just walking around after our like year anniversary dinner and stuff. We got ice cream and we were just kind of like walking around this nice, kind of like outdoor shopping center thing, kind of like how Mayfair is, you know, little bear. I'm going to Barnes and Noble because I wanted to buy a book. Got the book I wanted, whatever. But they had a section of probably like 30 books that were wrapped and only had like a very little description of like what the book is. It told you like the genre, like fantasy, and gave like a short like 3 sentence description of the book, and you chose it not knowing what it was about besides that 3 sentence, right? Something pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would buy a book for that just to see if I liked it. How much would you pay for a book like that? That's my question. Like, if you knew nothing about it except the genre and like 3 sentences describing the entire book, how much money would you pay? And then I'll let you know how much Barnes and Noble thinks you should pay. I think it's a.
I already
I
feel
think it. I think it was overpriced.
I already feel like it's gonna be more than I think.
I think it was overpriced.
You couldn't see the cover?
You can no. So it was. I have a picture. I'll show you.
Because I know the whole saying, but I definitely judge books partially on their cover.
You can't see the cover. It was like wrapped in white paper. Wrapped in white paper with just a description. For instance, here you go. I'll read you one that says fantasy, right? Since we both enjoy the fantasy genre. So how much would you pay for this book right here? Fantasy. Childhood enemies team up, missing girls and secrets, House of Earth and Blood meets The Witch's Heart. That's it. That's all you know about the book.
Okay.
I'll
So,
give you one more description of a different genre. So
okay.
mystery thriller. One murder, 15 suspects. Messy and intriguing characters. Laugh out loud, funny mystery.
Was that Death on the Nile?
Dude, I thought about that, but I don't think there are 15 people on Death on the Nile. I think there's only 9. I just read Death on the Nile this year, so I think there's only
Okay.
9 suspects.
Okay. That's what I said. I
But
feel like they just describe. Like
but
I feel like this we could make a game out of guessing these
but
books.
now I kind of want to go back and buy that to see if it is an Agatha Christie book because it definitely could be.
Hmm. I feel like we could try to make a game out of just guessing those.
Right.
For how much I would pay, how
hmm
much I think would be a reasonable price line where they could get me.
Right, because it could be a shit book or it could be like
Yeah.
great.
16.95, and I think they could sell me on it. Higher, it better be a really fucking good 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Lower, I'm pretty open to it.
Yeah. So they were charging 17.99, so you're pretty close. I think I would have probably paid around like 13. But 17 definitely wasn't out of my like I could buy this. I think 17.99 was pushing the limit of
Can
like
you can you feel
oh
them? Are they
I
hardback?
picked yeah, they were hard-covered books.
See that right there to me, 13, you're looking too low on hardback books. Hardback
True.
alone, the production costs,
Well,
you're
I only
gonna
picked up
rarely
2.
find a book lower than 15.
I only picked up 2 and they were both hardcover, so there might have been softbacks in there, but I'm not sure. But 17.99, I wasn't against it. I was like with the 3 sentences they were giving me, I was like, it might be a little too much because what if I absolutely hate this book?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true. 18 bucks, I could talk myself into it for 18 bucks if I really like the description and it was a genre that I already know. Like you mentioned fantasy.
yeah.
I know I'm not super hard to please with the fantasy genre. If it said like historical nonfiction, mm, like I gotta be really into the topic
It's
to
yeah.
enjoy it. So that's a real gamble.
I don't think any of them were nonfiction books. They had a bunch of romance, fiction, fantasy, young adult fantasy, mystery thrillers, and that was it. Those were your 4 different things. So like this one, young adult fantasy. If I didn't know, or young adult fiction, friendship, deception, and jealousy, small town mystery, competitive sisters. Boom, sisterhood of the traveling pants.
That's not bad.
I know.
It's
Okay,
more like
here you go. This is a lit RPG book right here.
no way.
Fantasy, fun. I mean, it could be. Listen to this: fun, fast, and bizarre, epic life and death odyssey, folk tales with video game elements. It could be a lit RPG book.
Hang on, one more time. Read it to me.
Fun, fast, and bizarre, folk tales and video game elements, epic life and death odyssey.
I wanted to say Ready Player One, but I actually think they may have went a little farther into the lit RPG genre, which I'd be really proud of.
I think so too because Ready Player One's clearly would you consider that fantasy or would you just put that under fiction?
Technically, it's sci-fi.
Right. This just says fantasy. So like
But you have
the
fantasy
the
elements.
thing that throws me off is video game elements
Yeah,
because
that's
it
a,
could be Ready Player
that's
One.
my,
It could
it could
be
be.
it could be
It
any of
could
the
be a
other.
bad description. It could be what is it? Describe something poorly in 3 sentences or whatever.
Yes.
Like the describe a movie poorly or whatever. But I don't know. That's interesting. I may have picked that one up. I also may have opened the cover.
Yeah, I might have
Illegally.
unwrapped that one before I was like, all right, because I was like, if this is Ready Player One, this will be the 3rd time I've read this fucking shit, and I don't want to read it again.
Have you read Ready Player Two?
No.
Oh. Oh. Well, sir.
So see, my younger brother was always Player Two, so I feel like I'm over that book already. I'm better than it.
Okay.
Sports.
Sports. I have a
Dun, dun,
really
dun.
short, pretty short sports segment thing.
Oh, you're good.
Eagles are 8-0. Ohio State's 9-0. Haters gonna hate. at Dakota.
And to make Phillies fans even happier, the Phillies just lost the World Series, and the Philadelphia Union just lost the MLS Cup. So far, you're 0 for 2 in championships this year.
You're
But
saying we made it to 2 championship series already
and
this year.
lost
Yeah, whatever.
and
We made it
choked.
to the dance, baby.
I am all on. There's somebody in chat that says that they would pay a bag of Doritos and a bottle cap for books. Tino, shut up. But a bag of Doritos, I'd take that. I'm all on the Eagles train this season though now, with the Colts being
Yeah.
3-5-1. We just fired our coach. We have now an interim coach of a old offensive lineman that won a Super Bowl with us that has never coached in college or the NFL, but I love Jeff Saturday. So I love to see what he's going to bring. You bring in
Mr. Saturday's great.
You bring in a coach that's never coached a day in his life, but he was one of the best O linemen in probably the 2000s.
He coached in high school. He coached high school football.
But he's never coached college or NFL, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
But you bring it into a struggling team that has a really struggling O line, which has, with Quentin Nelson on it, we're still struggling, and Ryan Kelly. Jeff Saturday might come in there and whip those boys into shape, and our 8th string quarterback might be able to throw 100 yards next week. But I'm all on the Eagles train of fly Eagles fly,
Yeah.
win the Super Bowl. Undefeated Super Bowl would be cool. That way that they can, especially with Tom Brady playing still, and Tom Brady fucking lost his undefeated season in the Super Bowl. Beautiful. What else?
I'm just saying, people, like I said, haters gonna hate. Talk about easy scheduling. Excuse. Wins are wins. So if every other NFL team sucks this year and the Eagles win the Super Bowl, guess what? We still win the Super Bowl. I
Agreed.
don't care.
There's no asterisks on that win. You won the Super Bowl. That's
If
all
you
that
all
matters.
suck, it sucks to suck. Get good. Like
I agree. There are no easy wins in the NFL, no matter how bad a
Right.
team is, unless you
they're
play the
all
Texans.
professionals. Yeah, well, yeah, but
Not for
they're
y'all. It
all
wasn't easy for
professionals.
y'all. But other than that, they're all professional athletes. They are the top 1% of athletes in football in America.
in the world.
Maybe.
Oh, is
Maybe.
there a secret Russian American football league that we don't know about that has competitive players?
Probably. They're just waiting to announce it to when they take over. Maybe. What else? Is that all your sports? You just wanted to congratulate your teams for being undefeated?
Yeah, I'm going to congratulate my teams for being undefeated every week. They are undefeated.
That's very true.
I also wanted to at Dakota on the haters gonna hate part.
Exactly.
But no. So in the NBA, we've already talked a little bit about it taking off and how excited I am for it. I was ready for basketball to be back. Wanted to throw out there's a lot of stuff from player news to how teams are doing, stuff like that. I wanted to throw out just a few of the biggest surprises in the NBA right now that I have, mostly around records, but a couple snippets of a few other things. The first being, do you know what the Cleveland Cavaliers record is right this second without looking?
How many games have been played? I would at least like to know that.
They, specifically, that team has played 9 games.
Well, if you're asking me, their record can't be bad. So I'm saying they're 7-2.
They are 8-1. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Now name me 3 players on that team. Any of you, I dare you, without Googling it.
Kyrie Irving.
Wrong.
Let's see, who else? That Australian guy that played, Deladova played a while, and Ilgauskas. Those are some. I couldn't name you one. Actually, doesn't Donovan Mitchell play for them now? No. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell plays for them now. That's the only one I can name.
Kevin Love, who's been on the
He
team
still
since
plays?
LeBron.
I thought he retired. I thought he retired.
No.
Shows you how relevant Cleveland has been the past couple years.
Absolutely. So my first positive biggest surprise is the Cavs are 8-1.
Okay.
Now, does that mean anything? No, and I'll talk more about that in a
Super Bowl,
second.
baby.
But the Lakers are 2-7. Some people kind of saw that coming. Maybe not be as big a surprise. Warriors 3-7, coming off a championship. Nets 4-6. Now, the weird part about this, the big surprises, is that a lot of them have underlying issues. The Lakers are trying to figure out lineup issues. They got Pat Bev in the offseason. They got a few role players trying to figure out what's going on with Anthony Davis and LeBron. But LeBron's over here still doing great.
They can't figure out what to do with Russell Westbrook.
Can't figure out. Well, that's kind of what I meant with the bringing
Yeah,
Pat
I'm
Bev
saying
in.
like they can't figure out the team chemistry yet.
Pat Bev has started more games. It's a weird dynamic right now. They're trying to flush that out. Warriors obviously had the whole issue with Draymond and Jordan Poole, caused some turmoil in the locker room. But to be 3-7 coming off a championship doesn't look right, doesn't feel right necessarily. And the Nets, dude, someone literally just blew up a shitstorm in Brooklyn. Steve Nash is gone.
With
Kyrie is currently on a minimum 5-game suspension, pending certain actions to get reinstated. KD's just trying to play out there, but KD's got one of the worst. What's it called? It's a next gen stat, but the plus minuses.
Oh yeah,
he's got one of the worst plus minuses on the floor right now in the entire NBA. And it's Ben Simmons does not remember how to play basketball.
the Australian guy.
Yep, that's right. It is a weird time in the NBA. Now, with all that being said, I want to point out the season is 82 games, and the first 10 mean nothing. It's great that the Bucks are 8-0. It's great for the Cavs. They're 8-1. The Mavs are 5-3, 5-4,
5-3.
5-3. Luka's on a tear right now. They're figuring out some things. You can watch every game where they figure out
They get a little bit better.
But that's the whole point.
He's on an 8-game 30-point. He's dropped over 30 every game this year.
Yeah, he's leading the league, averaging like 36 points a game, maybe. I had that somewhere. Let's see. Luka
36.
36.
36.
Okay.
Second is Giannis with 32.6.
Mm-hmm. And a couple other people that are playing really well. With LeBron averaging 24 in his like 80th season in the NBA. John Morant averaging 29. Zion Williamson averaging 21.7 is really good, especially how much he's sharing the ball in the reps this year with Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum.
And he got fit for this season again. I think that year off really helped Zion with his NBA progression.
Yeah, I think gave him more time to work on his body, work on his physique, round out his game with like just low impact drills and coaching. Obviously, I think he's already a talented and a smart player, given his assumed basketball IQ. I'm gonna just say it looks like he knows what he's doing out there, but he's developed a little more. I think adding CJ McCollum is something that I criticized the Pelicans for years for not doing what Anthony Davis is finally giving their players a chance to win. And having Brandon Ingram, a healthy Zion, and CJ McCollum on a team, you're playing every night. With whoever you put on the other side of the floor, they're playing. It's no longer a blowout.
Yeah.
It's a good game to watch. And so I'm happy where the NBA's at right now. I think there's definitely some teams that need to figure some stuff out. I'm really hoping Miami might be able to still make some moves to add some offensive firepower to their team because I love Jimmy Butler. I think he should get another chance at a championship. But I think Miami's current personnel is a big maybe. So That's what I got in sports, though. Don't want to keep you forever. What do you got?
I have three things, but I'm gonna keep it to two. I have a third one is a list of things that we can talk about next week.
Okay.
It'll still stay relevant, so there's no need. One thing is this past week, we were talking. I think it was you and I that were talking. The Xboxer Goran Gogic got charged with trafficking cocaine. A lot. $1 billion worth of Colombian booger sugar. He was trying to take it to Europe, going from Colombia to America and then to Europe. I don't know why you stop in America first, who has had a war on drugs with the Latin America area since the 80s. No, I don't know why you'd stop in America first.
Seemed like a good idea.
$1 billion. That is tons and tons of drugs. That is a stupid amount. One, the man's never going to see the light of day outside of a prison cell ever again for that much drug trafficking. Maybe in 20, 30 years. Maybe. But the cartel that's in the jail system will probably just take him out real quick. That's crazy. Just the amount of there's just an insane stat that doesn't have to do with sports, but has to do with an Xboxer just trafficking drugs, $1 billion worth. And it's crazy. Secondly, I want to throw out that this past weekend I watched probably the greatest soccer match I have ever seen since the 2020, which technically took place in 2021, but they still called it 2020 European Championship. That was England versus Italy in England. The whole tournament was in England. Awesome game. Italy ended up winning on penalties. It was like 2-2 tied going into the penalties. Fantastic game. I've watched barely any MLS, but I watched this game because it was a championship game, and it was maybe the greatest soccer game I've ever watched in my entire life. Red cards, broken fucking legs. I'm
This was
getting.
the Union versus Galaxy?
This is no. So there's two teams. There's two professional football teams or soccer teams in Los Angeles. You have the Galaxy,
Yeah.
then you have LAFC, which is LA Football Club. That's who was playing LAFC.
FC.
So it
What's
was
their
that,
mascot?
huh?
I thought they were the Galaxy. What's their mascot?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
They are
Have
LAFC.
you watched the whole 90-minute program on them and don't know?
I don't know, but they pulled up a tifu of the big like banners that the fans raise before the game, like behind the goal. It was fucking Goku, like doing a Dragon Ball Z thing with like their logo in the middle of his. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was great. One, I want to say there are there are 8 professional sports teams that have the Los Angeles name, right? So you have Chargers, Rams, Galaxy, and LA Football Club. You have the Angels and the Dodgers. Then you have the Kings for hockey, and then the women's basketball team, which maybe still be the Sparks. Are they still the Sparks?
I believe.
So that's 8. So 8 professional basketball teams.
Professional sports
Or
teams.
professional sports teams, excuse me. 9. Because you have the Clippers as well.
You're right.
Yeah, didn't even think of them because they're irrelevant.
Did you say the Lakers?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
So 10. There are 10 professional sports teams in Los Angeles.
Is there a women's soccer team? Hang on, before we're done counting.
I mean, there's a women's Galaxy and LAFC, but they're all considered one giant.
Oh, is it considered one club?
Yeah, it's like one club. Like Man United has a women's team, Chelsea has a women's team, but it's all one club.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a whole European women's Super League and everything.
Well, because that's like, isn't Orlando Pride is just a women's team, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But there's an Orlando FC as well, and they're all together.
Okay.
But
I was
anyway,
trying to give them their independence. Brandon over here is.
with how bad, especially the Rams fan base is in LA. You know how people make fun of it all the time that like the other teams come and pretty much sell out the Rams stadium. The Los Angeles Football Club's fans might be the greatest fan base in Los Angeles. They're insane. Google just videos of their fans. They call themselves the
I have a
3-2.
hard time believing they're bigger fans than the Lakers fans.
Well, that's why I'm referencing how bad the Rams fan base is. And like the Angels and the Dodgers. They're all kind of like fair weather fans. When your team's doing good, they're there. People support the Lakers no matter what.
Yeah.
But the Lakers have a bigger pool than just kind of LA.
Yeah.
These other LA teams don't. Like the Rams don't, besides St. Louis. The Dodgers are pretty much, kind of right there. Dodgers are a little bit bigger, but like the Angels only get fans when they're doing well. The Kings are the same way.
Angels do well when Ohtani's breaking records.
Yeah. Yeah, Ohtani and Trout break records, and then it's like, oh, the Angels lost 8-3, but Ohtani, pitched, first to do this. It sucks. Watching videos, I think they call themselves the 32516 because that's like how much the fan base stadium part of their stadium holds is like 32,000, and it's filled every game. And they were like, there was a video, a TikTok that I saw that was, hey, look at look at all these fair weather LA fans cheering for them winning the championship, like fair weather fans. And like you see it and there's like smoke and like, flares going off and flags waving, just like any crazy soccer match you ever see. And then a dude stitches it and goes, that's funny, because that's actually from 6 years ago when we lost in the championship to the Seattle Sounders, and we were just there still supporting our team and thanking them for a good season. And I was like, if that's how crazy they get when they lose a championship game, Jesus Christ. It was awesome. So the game played for 135 minutes instead of 90 because you have two 15-minute extra times. During the second extra time, there was a 10-minute break because a goalie and a player go up for a ball. The goalie is like, they cannot score. I have to stop this. Goes in, dives, breaks his shin in half completely. But also at the same time, took out the other player out of the game. The goalie got a red card after he broke his leg, had to be carted off. Philly scores 2 minutes later because LA's playing a man down. So it's 10 versus 11. Now it's 3-2. 129th minute happens. LAFC crosses the ball. Gareth Bale comes out of fucking nowhere. Flies above everybody. Heads the shit in. They go to penalties. The kid that just came in, hasn't played this game, came in for penalties for the goalie that got hurt and saved every single penalty in the penalty shootout against Philly. And to make it even better, the kid that saved everything was from Philly and was their starting goalkeeper, and they let him go because they thought he was slacking, and they got a new goalkeeper this year who did not save a penalty during the shootout. It was the greatest soccer match I've ever seen in a long, long, long time.
It needs to be a movie.
It was great. And I watch soccer every weekend, all the time. It was the greatest, one of the greatest soccer matches I've ever seen. I love it to death. It was. I would if I can find it. I know I can because ESPN shows it. If I could watch the replay of it right now, I'd watch it because it was good. I'd sit there for 130 minutes just watch the match. It was that good of a match. I'd rewatch it. It was a storybook ending. It was beautiful.
So you're telling me, freaking Phillies go against one of the best teams we've seen in a while in Major League Baseball that isn't cheating, and
yes, we did not cheat this time because Dusty Baker would have beat the
bullshit?
shit. Bullshit? You mean like fairy tale story writing? Yes.
That's bullshit.
Also with the Phillies, with good job Astros, by the way. I've been an Astros fan since 2002. We sucked for a long time. Super glad that we have 1.5 World Series now. The Phillies, with at least 6 games played, so World Series that have gone into 6 games, struck out more than any team in the history of baseball.
Yeah,
In
wasn't it
a
71?
huh?
Wasn't it like 71
Yeah,
strikeouts?
it was an insane amount. And Yordan Alvarez hit a ball to the moon in Game 6. It was disgusting. I've never seen a home run hit to dead center.
Yeah, well, in game 3 or whatever, when that guy was telling his pitches, the Phillies ripped on him, okay?
Yeah, and they were hitting it like 380.
What's sad is like I don't care about baseball. I'm not a I'm not a
But it's
Philadelphia
the
fan in the
fact
sense that
but it's
I
the
root.
fact that you're a Philadelphia fan and everything you do.
No, I know. It's the sad part is I'm such a fan of the Eagles. Like I don't wish bad upon any Philadelphia sports team, so I find myself defending a team and a sport I don't care about.
Dude, I'm sitting down, and this is the last thing because this podcast has gone a long time. But it's been a good one today. I think this is a great one.
It has.
I'm sitting on the couch, and Amy's beside me. Amy's watched maybe 6 baseball games with me this year. She likes it, but she's like, she'd rather go and watch the game because, going to a baseball game is way more fun than watching it on TV.
Way different.
But with me playing since I was, 4 years old, I can sit there and watch it all day because I love it. I'm sitting there. I'm fucking upset because Schwarber just hit his 3rd home run of the World Series. We're down 1-0. We get a hit, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Now we got 1st and 2nd. And then Alvarez came up, and the guy threw him a big-ass left-handed curveball to a left-handed batter, super hard to hit, but it hung in the air. And Alvarez just took like a fucking golf swing and hit it 457 feet to dead center. Now, if you look at Houston's center field, there's a wall, with a yellow line. So if you hit it over that, it's a home run, and it bounces back into the stadium. Not only did he hit over that line, he hit it over the other 45 feet of fucking bricks into the stands. If that would have been to left field, that ball would have went out of the stadium and rolled for 800 more feet. It was the biggest, longest home run I've ever seen.
So, fun fact.
Yeah.
I've only ever been to one major league baseball game. I've been to a few like AAA games and stuff like that. The only major league baseball game I've ever seen is in Houston. So I've seen the wall you're talking about.
It's gigantic, right? It's huge. It's huge. And I saw that, and it's like 10 at night. And I bet I woke up my entire apartment complex. Because I'm drinking, praying to God we don't go to game 7. And then that happened, and I was like, and it was only like, I think he hit it in the 6th or 7th inning. I was like, that's it. I was like, that was the ball game. Like, if you watch a man literally just pretty much, he just laid it on the table and was like, here I am. I came to fuck shit up. You've already won the World Series. He won this World Series with that hit, and there were still innings to play. No doubt in my mind. It was beautiful. Dusty Baker, who totally deserves a World Series after spending it over 50 plus of his years in Major League Baseball as a player and a coach. Coached great teams with Barry Bonds, coached great Cubs teams, great Nationals teams. He compared earlier in the season Yordan Alvarez to a young Barry Bonds with the amount of power that this man has. And we signed him for $7,000. Our pitcher that pitched 2 amazing games, we signed him for $10,000. We are going to be good for a long time.
That's
I mean, there are people that were already talking, I've seen, that have been like, can you call the Astros a dynasty yet? And I don't think we can yet. I think we have to win one more legit World Series to where we have 3, but 2 as a non-cheating team. But also, we've been to 4 out of the last 6 World Series. And we've been to 6 of the last 6 ALCSs. So it's like, they're a damn good team. Dynasty? No. Because Dynasty's like San Francisco Giants when they won 3 out of 6 World Series. That's a dynasty. We throw it in and we win a World Series next year or the year after, I might call it one. But we're good.
I say if you get another within 2 years.
Yeah. I think if we get one next year or the year after, we can be like, all right, this is a dynasty. And we still stay to where we're always making the playoffs, winning the division, going to the ALCS. If you are the team to beat for, a good 6 to 7 years, you could be, and you have, 2-3 World Series to back it up, I think you can be considered a dynasty in baseball.
Sounds about right.
I don't know. I'm happy. I already ordered a hat. It's got the World Series patch on the side, but it's not going to be like the Phillies one that just has the World Series logo. It's going to have champions running through the middle. So,
oh wow,
yeah. Shout out to Jonathan, Donna, and Brennan Buckley, my cousins. Screw you, but fly Eagles fly.
As long as they win, as long as
the Eagles win. Rick, that is all I have.
That's all I got, brother.
Cool, man. It was fun. It was a fun day. We laughed hard. Oh, I actually have 2 more things. I lied. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, I know. 1, we started the TikTok. Same thing as our Instagram handle. It is at SlamsFistFact. Go follow us on TikTok. We'll post funny bits from our show and also maybe things that we film outside of the show. Who knows? I might become a TikTok influencer. Secondly, Rick and I have been having a debate about cheese. Specifically sliced cheese. I'm talking specifically 400
from a certain franchise.
Yes, but we're not going to say what franchise, but specifically 480 slices of American cheese. I'm going to put a poll/quiz on Instagram tomorrow. Tell us how much you think 480 slices of American cheese weighs. We will know the answer tomorrow night, but I want your guesses before. So far, we have had guesses all the way down from 5 pounds all the way up to 20. So, good luck.
Heavy cheese.
Yes. But other than that, Rick, we should do this again sometime. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, fun facts, birthdays, these days in history, this week's in history, shoot us a shout out on the Instagram or at slamsfistfact@gmail.com. Remember, it has to be fun and interesting because of our friend Dalton, or we won't put it on the show. We probably will anyways, but we just want to make Dalton feel bad every time we talk. But I hope everybody has a great day, and we will talk to you